Hi, I'm Lisa.
And I'm Anna, and we are excited to continue this series of practically learning how to show God's love.
Yeah, and today we're going to dive deeper into what it looks like to show God's love with gentle words. Now remember, this is not just true of the actual words we use, but it's also in the tone that we use to communicate with others.
Absolutely. Let's check out this week's God story and continue where we left off last week.
Why is Peter Pan always flying? Because he never lands. Hey everyone, my name is Liza. Happy to be back again with you this week. Fun fact about me, I'm a little bit of a cat lady. I have 2 cats of my own, and one of them, Dolly, is really playful, super high energy. But I can remember a time where she got sick and I had to take her to the vet. And the vet told me that when I brought her home, I had to be really gentle with her for a couple days because she was on a lot of medication and had to wear a cone around her neck. So when we got home, I couldn't play with her, I couldn't chase her around. I just had to pet her very calmly, hold her very gently. But it was through those gentle actions that I was able to nurse her back to her old self. And that leads me to today's big idea. We can show God's love with gentle words. In this series, we've been learning more about the fruit of the Spirit, which is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. And today, we're going to focus on gentleness. So first, what is gentleness? Well, think about the different ways that you've been told to be gentle. Maybe you're holding a newborn baby and someone says, be gentle. Or you're carrying flowers and you have to be gentle. Or remember the story about me with my cat? I had to be gentle. Gentleness is a loving and caring way to treat others. Gentle words are kind words. Gentle actions are kind and considerate. Let's see what the Bible has to say about gentleness. We're going to read from the book of Proverbs. A proverb is a piece of advice or words of wisdom. And the proverb that we're going to read from was written by King Solomon, and he was given this amazing gift of wisdom from God. In Proverbs 15, he wrote, "A gentle answer turns anger away, but mean words stir up anger. The tongues of wise people use knowledge well, but the mouths of foolish people pour out foolish words. The eyes of the Lord are everywhere. They watch those who are evil and those who are good. A tongue that calms is like a tree of life, but a tongue that tells lies produces a broken spirit." A gentle answer turns anger away, but mean words stir up anger. That's really good advice. Have you ever been playing with a friend when you disagree over something? Instead of getting angry and yelling at each other, try using gentle words and really talk through what's happening. That can actually stop anger and prevent you from hurting each other. Solomon also said, "Wise people speak with wisdom, and foolish people don't." And that's why it's so important that we're careful with what we say. Let's take a look at that last verse again. A tongue that calms is like a tree of life, but a tongue that tells lies produces a broken spirit. What does that mean? Gentle words, kind speech, encouraging words are like a life-giving source. Our gentleness with our words is important, and it's one of the ways that we can show God's love. So how can we do that? If someone is yelling at you or using hurtful words towards you, just stay calm and use gentle words back. Or if you're around and someone's being hurtful to another person, you can respond with gentle words and kindness to the person who's hurting. We can really show God's love by being gentle with our words every day. And I know it's not always easy. Sometimes someone says something harsh or hurtful to you, and you want to respond by being harsh and hurtful back. But as Christ followers, we know that Jesus shows us a way of being gentle with our words and having humble hearts. So let's choose to be different. Thanks so much for hanging out, guys. I hope you have a great week. And remember, let's show God's love using gentle words.
So gentle words are kind, loving, and considerate. And these are often the words that stick with us as we get older.
Oh, absolutely. And you know what? Not just the words, but the actions as well. I remember when I was 16, got to my first Canadian National Field Hockey Championships. Finals game, I was terrified. We tied it up, sudden death, shootout. Now, why was I terrified? Because I'm the goalie. If something gets in, it's my fault. I was trying to get in that zone, but I couldn't focus, I couldn't get there, couldn't concentrate. And I remember looking up, and across the field was my mom. She'd separated herself from the pavilion, and she was just standing there, the embodiment of calm. And although she was too far for me to hear, I could just see her saying, "You got this." I knew she was praying, and that's all I needed, was just that calm moment, seeing her knowing she's saying, you got this. And even as an adult now, if I'm in stressful situations, I think back to that and the you got this moment to get me through it.
That's so powerful and such a great reminder to us that it doesn't have to be in the big and the elaborate and the loud to make a difference. Sometimes it is in that small, gentle, quiet way we have that makes the most impact. You know, we wanted to give you a great example of this, and so we took a visit to our friends at the Oakville and Milton Humane Society and asked them to share with us how words of kindness and love and gentleness have made an impact in the lives of animals who may have been neglected or abused.
Yeah, you don't want to miss this. Check it out.
Can you imagine what the world would look like if we could understand what animals had to say? If we could speak their language? A place that not only understands the heartbeat of animals, but that shows them love, care, and kindness is the Oakville and Milton Humane Society.
The main focus of the Oakville and Milton Humane Society is to help animals. We find lost animals and reunite them with their families. We take in animals that no longer can stay in their homes and find new homes for them. We rescue animals that are in trouble in our community. We investigate allegations of cruelty and neglect. And so we're here to be a resource to our community, both the animals and the people. The animal species that we tend to get here, for the most part, are dogs and cats. But what people don't realize is that pretty much anything that walks, flies, swims, crawls, and needs assistance in our community could come in. So that has included things as large as ostriches and as small as fish. So when animals come to us, they come to us in a variety of ways. And some of them, however, emotionally have been through very bad experiences with people. They're scared, they don't know what to expect, they're closed because they haven't had a positive relationship with humans.
The Humane Society often takes in animals that have had bad physical or emotional experiences with humans. They focus on rehabilitating these animals before finding them loving, forever homes. These animals might be scared or in pain and will display that in their body language. They might be trembling, keeping their ears down, turn their heads away, and sometimes even growl when people approach them. It can take a lot of time and patience to help these animals regain trust in humans. And the Humane Society gives them the time and space they need to come around in a way that works for them. Staff and volunteers take them for walks, play with them, and when needed, simply sit with them to give them dedicated one-on-one time. All of this is done to give the animals a second chance at life and to find them the perfect family and a loving forever home.
If we feel that it is going to be a long process and they need to learn to trust someone, that would then involve a foster family, and that foster family becomes the bridge potentially to being able to make connections with new people and new families.
For me, fostering is great because I can get a puppy fix or a kitten fix, and then I can send them back when my life gets too busy for that. And it's a wonderful way of just sort of paying it forward, and it's a feel-good. It's a win-win. So about a year ago, I got a call from the Humane Society requesting whether or not we'd be interested in helping an older dog convalesce after hip surgery. And so I wasn't too sure, but we went and met Angel, and well, that was kind of all it took.
Go get it.
So I guess the couple of months stretched into a couple more months, and at this point we were very comfortable with her in the house, and she's kind of fit right in, so we didn't have the heart to sort of send her back and start at ground zero looking for a forever home, so we decided to keep her.
Here she is.
So knowing how to behave around animals will, in time, enable an animal to come around and become a normal, happy, healthy animal. What I love about animals most is they're honest, and that the relationship that you have with an animal is pure. And most of the time when the relationship messes up, it isn't because of the animal, it's because of the human. And I kind of find that pureness and that kindness and that gentleness that animals bring something special that's sometimes lost in our human relationships.
As humans, we tend to focus on the words people use and often forget to read their body language. Animals use body language to speak to us. And when we treat them with love, gentleness, and respect, we can literally nurse hurting, neglected, and even abused animals back to life.
You know, we may not know why these animals ended up at the shelter, but we were able to see everyone show them love, kindness, and gentleness.
Yeah, and you know, as we just saw, sometimes it takes a lot of patience and gentleness to win back the trust of an animal that maybe had a bad experience with a human. But it struck me, if we're willing to go that far for animals, how much more can we not show God's love to the people in our lives?
That's huge. You know, we witnessed the staff and the volunteers doing the smallest things, taking dogs for walks, playing with the cats, ultimately just spending time with these animals to show them love. How can we now take that example for our own lives and take time for people, show them love and gentleness, and ultimately God's love for them?
Yeah, I mean, we can show God's love to the people in our lives, we can show it to the animals in our lives, we can show it to all of God's creation. So let's go into our small groups now and discuss what this will look like if we actually were to apply it in our own lives.
See ya.